What's up, guys? Today we're doing something a little bit different. I've got a whole bag of product fails and empties that I'm real excited to talk about. Here's the thing. I'm extremely critical. No joke, my best friend Matt calls me his critical friend. My boyfriend and I are in couples therapy, and sometimes it's because I'm overly critical. That's just who I am, and that's one of the reasons why I started this channel, is to just share my critiques and share my opinions and my feelings, because my favorite channels to watch are ones that talk about the shit that doesn't work. They help me save money. I love that. So hopefully I can do that for you. To be honest, most of the products that are fails aren't fails because they're bad products. They're fails because they just were colors that didn't work for me, or formulas that didn't work for me, or skincare products my skin didn't like. Doesn't mean that they're bad products at all. Hopefully this can help you save some money. And on the flip side, with the empties, a lot of the stuff is stuff I really, really love. And I wanted to do them in one video because I wasn't sure if you guys would really be interested in this type of content from me. So if you like seeing product fails or you like seeing empties, let me know and then I'll continue to sort of gather them as I go. So let's start with the empties. First up, I have these samples of Paula's Choice Omega Complex Moisturizer with chia and flaxseed. I really like this. I don't know that I'm gonna buy a full size though, because it's just like nothing special. It's a very whipped texture that doesn't like melt down. It kind of stays more of like a heavier feeling. I'm wearing it right now all over my face, and I have to say it does feel nice. It looks nice. It's not too heavy. It's not too lightweight. It just doesn't make me go like, like some moisturizers make my eyes go like, oh God. But this one, I felt like it was really nice, but I just prefer a more like luxe experience when I put a moisturizer on. So I might get more samples, TBD. I'm only going to talk about this for 2 seconds because I've talked about it in every video where I've mentioned skincare. The Dr. Dennis Gross Ferulic Retinol Triple Correction Eye Serum. I just got a new bottle of this from the Sephora order. It's incredible. Can't say anymore. This L'Oreal Vitamin C Serum. I can't even read what it says because it's squeezed so tightly. I used this when I had very oily skin in LA, and every vitamin C serum on the market either was too harsh for me or was too kind of like hydrating or occlusive or something like that. This was a nice happy medium for me. It is more of a silicone matte texture. Let me see if I can squeeze any out for you because I know people are very interested. Oh, there is some left. There we go. It's like a cream, but it feels very silicone-y, and you'll see that it dries down matte. Now, when I rub it on my face, I instantly feel, and on my hands, I instantly feel a warming. And so I found that even though that was the best vitamin C serum at the time I could find, it really irritated my skin when I put SPF over it. I do think for such a high concentration, it's a fantastic drugstore option if you're looking for an affordable vitamin C and if your skin tolerates vitamin C. I also finished my Inkey Peptide Moisturizer. I thought there was none left. I really liked it. I think it's my favorite peptide moisturizer that I've tried yet. Most of them are way too lightweight and feel very drying on my face. This one actually felt really nice, and I really enjoyed the experience of this. I love how hygienic the pump is. I really enjoy that. It wasn't like quite as powerful as it could be. I think I'm not going to repurchase this. I'm gonna stick with my Glossier Priming Moisturizer for now, but this is an incredible option if you're on a budget. It feels amazing. I really loved the experience of this, but I'm just the kind of person who loves to try new moisturizers every time I'm out. Another empty is the Kora Organics Noni Radiant Eye Oil. I've had this for probably 2 years now. This is my second bottle. There are some pros and cons. The pros of this is that it does absolutely hydrate the eye area. It weirdly works well under makeup. You would think putting an oil under your eyes would just like ruin your makeup. It actually doesn't. What I don't like about it though is that the mechanism of this roller ball makes it like so difficult. It actually worked well there. I don't know what the deal is. I tend to have to like shake it to get the oil down, and then when I put it under my eyes, there's way too much, and then it blurs my vision. So what I would have to do is like shake it to get the oil out, tap it onto my fingers, and then put it on. So that's how I would recommend using this, because a lot of times the oil just like would not get out of the roller ball, and then all of a sudden there's way too much. So I think the roller ball thing's a little bit too tricky. And then because of that, I end up like, if I put a little bit too much, my vision's blurry for the next like 12 hours. So I'm not going to be purchasing this again, and I'm probably going to stay away from eye oils because I just didn't like that experience. I also used up the little sample size of the Drunk Elephant C Tango multivitamin eye cream. This is pretty amazing. It has fantastic, very powerful ingredients. I just found that like when I used this with a vitamin C serum with an SPF, I would get a lot of irritation. But now that I've found vitamin C serums that don't irritate my skin, I've been really, really loving this. My problem though, it's $64 for the full size. $64 for an eye cream to me is insane, because this Dr. Dennis Gross retinol is like a powerful anti-aging treatment that has actually given me results. This, I've had a couple samples of this so far, and I just don't think it's worth $64. I would absolutely get a full size of this if I could get it for free, but honestly, for my budget, the way I justify my spending, I just can't justify $64 on the full size. But it's a great product. Next up is really hard for me to talk about, like to the point where I could cry about it because I'm that passionate about lip balms. It's the Bite Agave lip mask. It's the original formula that they no longer make. They made their whole line vegan. And listen, if you're vegan, that is great for you. You're doing some cool shit for the planet, and I wish I could have your strength and your power. But this lip balm is amazing. It's incredible. The new one's trash. The new one that doesn't have lanolin, which is like made from sheep's wool, is not the same. This old formula is incredible. And luckily, before they ran out, I bought 2 more that I have back at my apartment in LA. But I have a tiny, tiny bit left, and I'm devastated. I'm genuinely like freaking out. I would buy this on the black market. If anyone knows where I can get the original Bite Beauty formula, I don't care how old it is, I will buy it. I will buy all of them. A happier empty is the Kaia Takesumi Detox Bamboo Charcoal Deodorant in Lime Mint. This is the best smelling shit that I have ever smelled. This is so good. I'm not quite out of it yet, but I really wanted to talk about it because I just didn't know what other video it could fit in. Oh my God. Oh, it's so good. It's like you're running through a field of like fresh mint plants and everything. There's like also like a fresh rain. It had freshly rained. That's what this smells like. It looks like this. I think it does leave a little bit of white marks on like dark clothing, but I don't even care. It's so good. I've been using natural deodorant for like 4 years now, and I'm gonna be honest, whether I'm using natural deodorant, non-natural deodorant, whether I'm using an aluminum antiperspirant, it doesn't matter. I smell bad. I always have, and I always will. I love this so much that I have a mini version that I keep in my purse with me for emergencies. 10 out of 10. Couple makeup empties. This is my e.l.f. Wow Brow in the shade Taupe. You can see from the wand, the Taupe shade is quite a soft blonde, and it worked really, really well for me on top of an eye pencil. So I would just quickly fill in the little spaces in my brows that needed some help. And then I would go over it with this, and it would just make everything look seamless and really nice. Recently, I've been using the ColourPop Boss Brow. And to be honest, I can't really tell the difference between the formulas. Like, they both feel like a nice brow gel that keeps my brows in place. This one might have a little bit more hold to it, so I think I might repurchase this Taupe while I use up my ColourPop one, because I use them for different things. A bit of a controversial one, I think. This is the Milk Makeup Flex Concealer in the shade Fair. And my problem with the Flex Concealer, well, there are 2 things. Number one, this shade is just a little bit too light for me. It's the shade Fair, and I'll just blend it out a little bit. What I do like about this shade is that it does have a little bit of like a pink undertone to it, which I prefer. And also, I don't know if you can see, but it's quite drying. And the next shade darker than this, Vanilla, was just too dark and too yellow for my face and my under eyes. So honestly, even if they had a shade for me though, it's just very, it dries down very matte, but you can see it's got quite a lot of coverage. It's really blurring. So it looks incredible when it first goes on. I would say if you can find a shade in this and you don't suffer from like dryness under your eyes or you don't have a lot of fine lines, this is an incredible concealer. It blends like a dream. So ultimately, it's just not the one for me, but I think a lot of people would really like this. Two concealers from Tarte. These are the Tarte Creaseless Concealer. The name is that it's a creaseless concealer. It's not at all. It's incredibly thick, like super, super thick. And when it goes on, it's so thick that it's quite hard to blend out. However, these are probably my 6 tubes, like 5th and 6th tubes, because I've purchased this repeatedly for so long, because I've never been able to find a better color match for me than the shade Light 20N. This is what I've used as foundation all over my face for years. It's nice and hydrating, so I found that it looked rather like plumping on my skin, and I'll just try to swatch whatever is left in there. I would say quite medium coverage. This is the shade Light. I mean, I think you can see like this is a really nice color match for me. Now that I've been buying more concealers, it is so thick that it's hard to blend. And I found concealers that are much easier to blend now that are also good color matches for me. So I'm ultimately just not gonna repurchase this, but I will also swatch next to it the shade Fair Light Neutral 13N. We have Light 20N and Fair Light Neutral 13N. I really liked these, but they just, you can see they're like very dewy and emollient, and like see how thick that is. But like great coverage, very hydrating. I've just found concealers that I like better since. Okay, now let's get angry. I've got some product fails for y'all. So my friend on Instagram, her handle I think is Oh Hey This Too. Is that it? I don't know. I'll let you know. She sent me this concealer, and she's a freaking saint because she told me that this sounded like it was exactly up my alley. And it is. This concealer is so freaking good. However, it has the most scent that I have ever smelled in a complexion product. It's the Sephora Bright Future Gel Serum Concealer in the shade Fondant. Thing is, it's so nice. It blends so well. It has like light medium coverage. It's beautiful. It's hydrating. It's a great price. This is like $14. It's everything I wanted in a concealer. I put it on and I was going about my day and I was like, what is that? Like, is there a grandma? I was working at my desk all day with this on and I could not stop smelling it. That's how powerful it is. Sephora could just remove the fragrance from this and it would be a 10 out of 10 concealer. I'm just so sad there's fragrance in it. I'm so sad. That's great otherwise. If you haven't been following me on Instagram, then you wouldn't know that I had a massive skin reaction to 2 products recently that I used back to back. The first one is this Joya Clear and Even Clay Mask. I didn't see any fragrance. I didn't see anything irritating. I didn't see any active ingredients. So I was like, cool. I love clay masks. This caused such bad burning and red irritation. I'll insert a picture if I still have it. You can see the line from where I used the mask and it was burning my face so badly. So I immediately took it off. And this was just a reminder to me that I need to be a little bit more careful about the PR that I accept. So this was a fail, but the fail got even worse when I tried to combat the burning sensation with the Crave Great Barrier Relief Serum. Now, before you come at me with pitchforks, I just want to say, this is not a bad product at all. Crave is an incredible company. They're actually one of my favorite companies. My skin just had an allergic reaction to this. I'll insert more pictures if I can find them. But what I did was I had just gotten this in the mail, hadn't really tried it yet except for one time, and I noticed the next day I had some breakouts and I was like, whatever, maybe it's a coincidence. Well, I used this to try to combat the irritation, and I guess I had an allergic reaction all over my face and all over my chest specifically. I used like 5 pumps of this all over, and I was like, oh God, make the irritation stop. Now, my skin is reactive and sensitive, and it's acne prone. So I did some research and I looked up Crave, Great Barrier Relief, like allergic reaction or acne, something like that. And I noticed a lot of people had the same reaction. Crave was amazing. They responded immediately. And during a pandemic, I didn't expect that. And they immediately refunded me. I just want to say, even though this was probably like the worst product I've ever tried for me, I know that so many people swear by this as their number one. So it doesn't mean it's a bad product. I just might be allergic to it. Another product people might be mad at me for speaking negatively about is the Glossier Sky Wash. I just have not reached for this since I bought it and tried it. I think this is really difficult to work with. I'll show you on my hand. It's like, you see that there's this big bottle and then you pull it out and you're like, oh, this is the little Sky Wash, and then this massive wand is what we get. And you're like, what? It is a sheer matte liquid eyeshadow. So think about that for a second. When I first heard of that, I was like, sick. I love liquid eyeshadows. I love like sheer colors. That'll be so good. But it's just not a great formula. So as you can see here, it is, I don't know if you can see like how kind of patchy it gets, but it's almost dry just after that very, very little tapping. And like you kind of keep trying to blend it out all over your eye, and it just gets so freaking patchy. It dries down so fast to the point where you're like blending it out and you're adding a little bit more and it's kind of picking up on itself and you're like, oh, that's annoying. And then all of a sudden it's set and then you can't blend it anymore. So these were a fail for me, which brings me to another point. I'm having trouble trusting Glossier affiliates, and don't get me wrong, I love Glossier products. Some of their products are my absolute holy grails. But there were so many people in the Instagram and YouTube communities who reviewed these and got them for free that gave these like glowing reviews. It makes me question their integrity. It makes me question, if I would trust them moving forward. And to be frank, I don't. The people who said that these were incredible, I'm like, I know you. You're a Glossier rep. You're sucking the tea. You're drinking the Kool-Aid. I got it. And it's not to say I have anything against Glossier as a company. Like I said, I love a lot of their products, but I'm just getting a little bit burnt out by all of the Glossier hype. And next time, I think I'm going to wait a little bit longer to see reviews from non-Glossier affiliates before I make a purchase on one of their products. Another liquid eyeshadow is this Ulta Matte Cream Eyeshadow in the shade Vintage Beauty. First, look at this little chub nub of a wand. It's like so fat, but it's like got this then like really fat point, and you're like, what am I supposed to do with this? Then all of a sudden you have way too much product on and you're like, oh God, what do I do? This versus the Glossier is very opaque. It's a lot creamier, which is really, really nice. The only thing I really didn't like is the color and the applicator. I felt the applicator made it really hard. What I like about this, as you can see, it blends out really nicely, and it kind of just has this like beautiful, nice wash of color. It sets down matte. It feels really creamy, which is nice. I just found, and I might give it a shot again, but I kind of wanted it to be a little bit more of like a purple. I just don't feel like when I'm reaching for a matte shade that I reach for this color. And so it's really more of like a color thing than anything else. What I would do if I got another one is I would probably just like put some of the product on my finger or a brush, because you can see it's actually really nice. I recommend these over the Glossier Sky Washes if you can find a shade. Next up is the Sunny's Face Lip Dip in the shade Peachy Kinda. Don't get me wrong, the lip dips are one of my all-time favorite lip formulas, period. It's just that this shade didn't work for me. Let me just show you Peachy Kinda. It's like, it's just not my shade. I'm obsessed with this formula. It smells like, maybe like sweet tarts or something. It feels like a matte liquid balm. It's like, it's so comfortable. It's so creamy. It just makes you want to keep rubbing your lips together. It feels so good. But even as I'm looking in my iPhone, I just feel like it makes my teeth look more yellow. It's just like not my color. But again, highly recommend this formula. Another one I'm tossing is the Revlon Super Lustrous Shine Lipsticks. This is the shade Glossed Up Rose. It's okay. Honestly, I was hoping that this color would be like a little bit more warm toned. And what's interesting is on my hand, it actually looks like the way I wanted it to be. But I feel like when I put it on my lips, it's a little bit too like cool toned pink. Also, the formula, it is really nice. It's like super glossy, smells like caramel. No, smells like cotton candy. That's what it is. But I feel like the formula is too thin for me. I like formulas that have some like thickness, that have some plushness, that gives me a little bit of like comfort on my lips. This feels like a combination, not of a lipstick and a balm like they've been advertising it. It really is more of a lipstick and an oil. You can see just how shiny that is. It's very oily on my lips. I'll show you. Yeah, like so oily. I just feel like it's so slippery. It just like slides all around my mouth. I just won't reach for it. That's really what it is. Yeah, it's a beautiful product, but honestly, it's just the formula isn't for me. But I highly recommend this if you like thinner lip products. Lastly, I have a sample of the Gressa Lip Boost in the shade Nancy. I got this sample because I was hoping it would be a dupe for the Fenty Daiquiri Dip, but it's very different. This is like scary pigmented. I'll show you. It's like very, for like a blush, like an emollient blush, it's just kind of intense, I think is the right word. I wanted it to be more of like a coral red. And so that might be my fault. I might have read the description wrong. But I'll put it on my lips. Yeah. Quite orange. Very dark. Let me see if I can take it down a notch because I look like a clown. So that's the lip boost in Nancy. It doesn't feel particularly nourishing. It just doesn't have a scent. It kind of smells just like oil, like castor oil or something. So I can't say it's my favorite experience. That's it. That's everything today. Everything I've either used up or I'm not going to use anymore. And I really loved filming this video because I'm like so passionate about things that I don't like or things that I love. And I hope I didn't offend anyone. I tried to keep it respectful, but I am passionate about like things that just don't work. So let me know if you want to see more videos like this. This was super fun to film. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you enjoyed this, and stay safe and stay sane.